What is up, guys? Riley Chase Fox here. So today I have a very, very special person with me. This guest has been acting since a very young age, where she soon developed and honed her talents and skills as an actor. A young wild child, homeschooled, with an extroverted personality, born and raised in Boston up until the age of 12, she soon found herself moving to the heart of California, where she followed her dream to be an actor. She's a cosplayer and a YouTube personality with over 20,000 subscribers. She's a writer, which includes writing for her own YouTube videos, and was also a co-writer in Smosh If Board Games Were Real. She's directed and edited, as well as including her own YouTube videos and for other YouTube channels, including MADI to the Max TV miniseries and The Red Booth. She's voiced in multiple commercials and video games, including Trolls World Tour, Promotions, Soul Hunters, Warhammer 40,000, Inquisitor, Martyr, and Prophecy, Dread Noctical, Ultimate Custom Nights, Five Nights at Freddy, where she voiced Happy Frog, and the recent Wasteland 3, where you can hear her as the voice of Winona. She's in movies and TV shows such as Three Little Pigs and the Magic Lamp, where she voiced the voice of Bobby and Miss Pig. She's been in Brick Battles Overwatch House as May, Explorer Academy as Sailor, and for all of you Gravity Falls fans out there, you can check her out in the live-action trailer as Mabel in Slack Shack's live-action version of the show. She's worked with such companies like Amazon, Coca-Cola, Hilton Hotels, National Geographic Kids, appearing in productions, many productions. She's also has a smile on her face and a will to inspire, meet new people with a competitive attitude. She's cultivated meaningful relationships with not only her friends, but also her co-workers. She is a fierce and fiery person with an amazing personality. Everyone, I would like to introduce my personal friend, Madison Brunoehler. Boom!
That's an amazing intro. I think it's the best intro I have ever gotten. That was amazing. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome. You have no idea, because, dude, I spent probably a couple hours rewriting. That's why I texted you, and I was like, hey, like, what are, like, a couple of things? I didn't want you to know exactly what I was going to write, but I definitely wanted to make sure that like, sometimes my mouth is moving faster than my brain, which is why I slipped up right there. But that's why I wanted to make sure I actually had a meaningful intro for you.
That was really good.
So I'm glad you definitely liked that. So
that was great.
Tell us a little bit about your journey. Give us a small little story.
Okay, small little story to go alongside that amazing story that you just told. So let's see, I started acting when I was very young. I started dressing up in silly costumes when I was maybe 3 or 4, and I just kind of took it from there. The natural progression to then become an actor was kind of natural for me. I then did a series on my channel where I dressed up in silly costumes and played all the characters and had them talk to one another. And then one week on my channel, I was like, I don't know what to do for this, sketch today. I don't have anything written. Well, here's this idea. Why don't I just do every voice impression I could possibly do? And it was just like everything from like Doctor Who to Disney to Orphan Black to just anime. It was just everything. And it was this big hodgepodge of stuff. And then a voice actor friend of mine saw it and was like, wow, this is really good. And he sent it to the casting director for a movie he was currently working on. And the director was like, wow, she's really good. She has range. Let's have her audition. And that was for Three Little Pigs and the Magic Lamp.
Wow.
And I booked that. I booked 2 characters for
Wow.
that. Yeah, that was spectacular. And that definitely made me go, oh, voice acting. This is something I should actively pursue more. And then I started really putting my focus into that, taking classes, advancing my equipment, honing my skills to do more than just impressions.
Yeah.
And gradually getting to where I am today.
And what year was that? We're in 2020.
I know. We're in 2020 waiting for the car to pass. Let's see. I I want to say 2014, 2015, something like that. The exact date is on the video on my channel. I just don't know it off the top of my head.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, because I remember me seeing that, and I remember I shot you a text, and I was like, dude, congrats, I'm super happy for you. But
Yeah.
that was, I want to say maybe like less than a year ago?
No, it was more than a year ago.
It was?
It was definitely more than a year ago, because I remember there was a point when I was just like feeling very extroverted, and I just reached out to a whole bunch of other people on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's how I met Jordan. That's
Yeah.
how I met Sakura.
Yep.
And then I think I did something on Jordan's channel, and then you saw that and were like, then you reached out to me.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
how, and that was 2018,
Yeah.
I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I remember I had texted Jordan, and I was like, hey, I'm looking for some more female voices. And she was like, hey, I have this friend. Her name is MADI. And I was like, dude, like, I don't want to be like awkward and just like randomly like message her. She's like, nah, dude, she's cool. She's super friendly. Like, you'll like her and stuff like that. And I was like, all right. And then that's when I had messaged you, and you're like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let's do it.
I mean, it definitely helped when I went and looked at your channel. It was
Yeah.
like, this guy is making good stuff.
Thank you.
I get a lot of people reaching out to me. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, let's do stuff. And I go and look at their content. And
Yep.
I'm like, this looks terrible.
Yeah.
I would not want my name attached to this. I'm sorry,
Oh,
but
wow.
no.
Well, that actually makes me feel a lot
Yeah.
better. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. LA lifestyle, right?
LA lifestyle.
See, it hasn't happened for me yet. Keywords yet.
Yes.
But when you actually record everything and it's put together, and then you literally like see yourself on the big screen, like how does that feel?
Sometimes it's terrible.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like, oh my God, this is so awkward. I should have done something else. A lot of the time that's with on-screen stuff, though.
Okay.
On-screen stuff, I'm like, oh, I should have done this thing instead of that
Okay.
thing. And now
Okay.
in the context of actually seeing the full thing, I know what I should have done, but I didn't do that because I didn't know that that was happening. With animation, I'm like, I have the full script.
Yeah.
I know what the thing is. And then
Yep.
when I actually get to see it, I'm like, oh, that's so cool, man. I sound so good as this character who looks completely different from me. This is fabulous.
Yeah.
This is great. I love watching my stuff when it's animated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's okay, so obviously if you're going into voice acting, you have to have the acting chops. Acting's got to be there. That's first. That's number one.
Absolutely.
But what are some behaviors or traits that people should have? Because I've seen and heard some stories, and I know some people that their skill could be a lot better in acting, but they know how to market themselves, or they know how to communicate, or they know how to make connections. And that they've said that that's really helped them like get auditions and stuff like that. So what are type of behaviors or traits people have that you say would be important if you want to make your way into this industry? That would be a notification.
Yeah, okay, good. Was it telling me that we had to do an interview?
I'm sorry, don't beat me up.
Do you want to take the rest of that line?
Yeah. So, obviously, you need to have some type of personality or behavior or traits that can help you really make your way into this industry. What do you think they might be?
Well, a lot of it is also very similar to on-screen stuff, where if you're nice, if people like working with you, they want to work with you again. So if you show up and you are just quiet or you're mean, if you're mean to the secretary, never be mean to the secretary, ever. Like,
I told you. What were we talking about in the car, dude?
you are never mean to the little people, because you don't know if the little people are actually the cousin of the director.
Yeah.
You don't know that, or if they're friends, or who knows, or they're talking to them. But you just never know. And so it's always be nice, always be courteous, always be kind to those around you. Energy is good because energy tends to be infectious. It tends to be like, oh my gosh, she came in, she had such great energy. We started, clicking and vibing, and it was great, and it was amazing.
Yep.
I know it's sometimes hard because you're really nervous and you're excited for a thing. And you're like, I don't want to mess this up, so I'm going to be kind of, I'm trying to remember my lines, and it can be really hard. But then sometimes you got a job and it's the most simple, easy thing in the world, and you just click and you connect with the people. Yeah. Like for the Gravity Falls thing, those Slack Shack crew is amazing. Amazing. I instantly vibed with them. It was the best. So when you can find people that you really vibe with, then it's easy. And it's, for me, a rule of thumb is, if I'm nervous, it's usually not right. If I'm like, yeah, whatever, this is great, win or lose, it's fine. Then it tends to be really right and really good, and I tend to book them. I don't know why, but that's just how it works for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I think that there's like, because you could kind of tell, you can get the vibe off a person like saying like, you know, like me, if you're going to be a good person, be a good person because you are a good person.
Right.
Don't do it for all ulterior motives.
Well, you can't.
Yeah.
It's really hard, unless you're a psychopath,
Yeah,
to
dude.
truly fake being genuine.
Yeah.
It's really hard to be like, oh, I like you so much. Yes, I love you. It's weird. You can always, there's always that kind of feeling in the back of your spine that's like, this person is not genuine.
Yeah.
This is not a good person.
Oh,
I
yeah.
need to, I just, nope.
And you can, it's like a discernment. Like, you just know, you're just like,
Yeah.
and it sucks because, I mean, there was a couple of times where I've been, like, especially for, like, young, new actors, I've been around and worked with, and I can see that they're trying too hard to be liked.
Yeah.
And it's like, just be you.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between personality and behavior.
Yes.
Behavior can be changed because, like, we're all goofy, wild, crazy, fun people as voice
Yeah.
actors. We're like that, some of the greatest people that you can ever meet in your life. And I've been in situations where, you know, we're goofing around, we're having a good time, because it kind of takes the anxiety away.
Yeah.
And it helps things become a little bit easier. But then there comes a point where it's just kind of like, okay, you know, there's a time to be professional, you know, and,
Yeah.
and that's a behavior that
Right. And it definitely needs to be something that you can balance, where you're like, you're having a good time, but when it's time, when the chips are down, it's like, okay, yes, I know my lines. Yes, I can hit my mark. Yes, I am doing my job that I've been hired for. I'm not just over here like, I am a goofball, still I don't remember my lines. No. Do the work beforehand. Be prepared, so that when you show up on set, you're like, yeah, let's vibe, let's chill.
Definitely.
This is good.
Definitely.
So work with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, with music, there's different genres. You have pop, you have jazz, you have disco. It's all under the same category of music,
Yeah.
but it's different skill sets.
Yeah.
So, as actors, we know that voice acting is a completely different skill set from on film.
Yeah.
On film is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's all in the face, it's all in the eyes. So it's the way that your face is projected. On theater, everything's live. So if you gotta, your chops
And
need to be down.
Theater is bigger.
It's
you have
very
it's much
big.
more
It's
about
body language.
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke, bro. Let's go. So yeah, and it's you know, your improv needs to be on point, definitely too. Because if you slip up, mess up, you gotta keep going.
Yeah.
You gotta keep going, and that's
Yeah.
something that you gotta really pick up on.
Yeah.
Which is why improv is so important.
Or if somebody
Take it.
else messes up,
Yeah.
you got to be able to pick up the slack.
Exactly.
Like I just saw a thing, like one of the productions of Phantom of the Opera, there's a scene where one of the characters is supposed to come in and tell this creepy story to all the chorus dancers, but he missed his cue. So one of the chorus dancers got up and started telling the story for him, and she was still in character, but still delivering the information that was needed to be delivered. Like, that is improv skill at the best, where you can pick up the slack.
If that happens though, can your director be like, dude, like, would they have been like, thank God that you picked that up, or would they have been like, hey, like, don't do that?
Well, I would assume it would be, thank God you picked it up, because
Yeah.
otherwise we would have just been sitting there
Yeah.
waiting for this guy to show up, and the audience would have been like, what the heck is going
Going on?
So at least the show kept going. The show must go on. I would assume. I would assume the director then talked to the guy afterwards, like, what the heck dude?
Happened, yeah.
You missed your cue. You are paid to do this. What were you doing? I'm sure it was not a pleasant conversation
No,
for him afterwards.
definitely not.
But I'm sure she got a little bit of a well done.
Yeah.
That would be my assumption. I was not a part of that particular crew.
So it's all a different skill set. So commercial, promo, radio, narration, character. Which ones have been your strongest suits, and which ones have been the most challenging?
I think my strongest is the character stuff. I love
Definitely.
doing the character stuff. Everybody loves doing the character stuff. The character stuff is fun. And when you find your voice and the voices that you can do really easily, then when the casting notices come up, you're like, oh yeah, I can do that. I don't even have to question if I can do that or not. It's like, yes, I have I already have that voice in my slots. I can just pull it out.
Pick and choose.
Yeah, I have it in my folders. It's in layaway. I can do this voice.
Yeah.
I think the hardest for me was finding the commercial voice. But even that to a degree is a character voice. Like, because I book a lot of stuff for like the mother sound. On this time, I never thought that we would have this wonderful experience together, just you, me, and the kids, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the mother sound. But then you also have, the super peppy kids voice, new glitter and glam just for Sunday, come by and buy it, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, you got the
many voices.
The many
of MADI.
voices.
Of MADI.
Commercial still has range. It's not just, this is my normal voice. It is the different tonalities of commercial. It's like there's the girl next door voice, there's the mother voice, there's the toy voice, there's the not sounding like a commercial at all voice, which that one was hard for me to get. That one was definitely the I'm totally natural and not at all reading this piece of paper that's telling you to come and buy our stuff. This is natural. This is absolutely natural. I'm not a commercial. Buy our things.
They I've been taking classes with Steve Bloom online with the Bloombox Studios, and in one of his classes, he talks about finding your neutral sounding voice.
Yeah.
This is common speech. We're commonly talking to someone, so our neutral voice is what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And then you go in and it might be specifically for a character voice. And usually a director will kind of tell you like, hey, this is the character you're reading for. And you'll have a bio, of what they're kind of a little bit about, the age, maybe, the range that they're looking for. And then is it all, when you're going into those, because a demo will find you an agent, correct?
Yeah.
But what do you feel is actually getting you the work?
Number of auditions.
Auditions.
I mean, as many auditions as you could possibly put in. I put in maybe, if I'm lucky, 100 auditions a week. That is
I believe it.
goal. You have to, because, if I put in that, I book one.
Yeah.
Sometimes two.
Yeah.
And most of the time for commercial stuff, they do not want a generic demo. They want you to read the copy and send that in. Very, very rarely, they're just like, send in a generic demo.
Okay.
But most of the time, they're like, read this copy. Generic demos will not be listened to. So you got to have the generic demo in case they ask for a generic demo.
Okay.
But usually they want to hear your voice saying their words so that they can picture you in their thing.
Okay.
And it's guesswork. It's definitely guesswork. It's this wonderful thing of, here's these 4 words that they use to describe this, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And then you have to guess, based on the copy, based on the product, based on these 4 words, based on the company, what their sound is that they're wanting. And it's just a bunch of guessing game. Because sometimes I will hear a commercial that I auditioned for, I'm like, oh, that's what they were wanting.
Yeah.
They were wanting that voice. Well, I could have done that. I just didn't know that they wanted that, because that's not what they said in the commercial, that they, or in the breakdown that they wanted. They said this thing, so I thought I did that thing, but it's all just guesswork. It's guessing what the client wants.
When you're in the audition booth, is it okay to ask questions?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, a lot of the stuff I do for my home studio, and I don't get that. Very occasionally, I do get things where they want me to come into the studio, which is great. I love it.
Yeah.
But if they're there, if there's some, like the director's there, if the casting agent's there, and you can ask a question, absolutely. Don't be like, they love it when you can ask them questions, because it means you're already thinking of it.
Yeah.
It means you're on top of your game. It means you already know your skill sets, and you're trying to narrow it down to best fit what they want. Because that's the thing. They want you to be the one.
Yes.
They want to find the one that they're looking for their project. That's what they're wanting to find, and they want you to be that one. So as much as you can narrow it down to give them exactly what they want, the better off you are.
Yeah.
So absolutely ask questions. Don't be like obnoxious, like,
Yeah, that's.
What's my motivation here? It's like, what is the tonality that you are wanting here? Are you wanting the soft? Are you wanting it intense? Are you wanting it gentle? As many adjectives as you can figure out to describe different ways to say a voice, the better.
That's good.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time where you felt, okay, this probably happens a lot. Correct me if I'm wrong, but sometimes you'll give them the choice, or you'll have a choice. You'll be confident with your choice.
Yeah.
You do it, and you're like, I knew that I nailed it. And then they've just asked you, okay, Maddie, can we have you do it this way? Maybe bring it back a little bit to see if you're taking direction properly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they will definitely do that, where it's like, can this person take direction? Can, if we say to go, is this just how they are in this audition? Is that just how they are? Or is it something that they're putting on for this voice? So it's like, if you go really intense and they're like, bring it back. Don't just subtly bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back. Do something different. Show that you have range.
Yeah.
That was the very first thing that was ever said to me. Oh, she has range.
Yeah.
They like it when you have range. Not just, because I've met a lot of people that are like, have a really weird voice. And they're like, people have said that I should get into voice acting. I'm like, yeah, but you can't do anything else besides that one voice. You need range for voice acting.
Yeah.
You need to be able to make it gentle, make it hard, make it, do all these different things. That's what they want, because if they can get one person to play 5 characters, woohoo, they love that.
Boom.
Love that.
Yeah, I know. I have a lot of people that come in and, like, for some reason, well, to the people that don't really know about voice acting, or they're just kind of getting in, they're like, oh, I can mimic, Mickey Mouse or Bugs Bunny, and I'm like, cool, that's fine. They have like 5 people that can do that.
Yeah.
How are you any different?
Yeah.
What is your unique voice? They want you. What can you bring to the table that isn't there already?
Right.
How can you be unique? How can you be different?
Yeah, and that is one of the things about impressions. Like, impressions are great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
totally.
Someone that started with impressions, they are absolutely great. Like, because of my impression, I was able to audition for the new Mickey Mouse, or Minnie Mouse. I did actually get to audition for that, which was great. But the thing is to start with impressions, to find your range. Find what you can do, where you can put your voice, so that you can then make something your own. Like, I don't know if any of you know Miraculous Ladybug.
Yes.
The voice of Tiki. I do an impression of Tiki. I really like it,
Marinette, you save the world on a daily basis.
So I know that my voice can do
Can
that.
hear the difference. I heard the change.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. And I can do that. So when I got the casting breakdown for Happy Frog, it was like this cute, sweet little, like, bubbly animatronic. I was like, okay, I have that voice in my range already. And I basically did a Tiki impression for Happy Frog.
Happy Frog, not Happy the Frog.
Right.
Happy Frog.
Happy Frog.
Yeah.
So when you hear,
Move over, Freddy Fazbear. Happy Frog is the new star of the show.
that's me doing a Tiki impression.
Yeah. And sometimes it kind of helps too. Like, I feel like people are like so tensed up that they just stand in front of the mic and then they just try to deliver the line. And I know it sounds weird, but we understand it because we do it all the time. But sometimes moving your mouth a certain way or doing a certain...
Holding yourself away.
Yeah.
Like, I will definitely, in front of the mic, if the character's, like, crippled, I will be over there like this.
Yeah.
I will definitely hunch up or I will hold the presence of the character. I can't just do it with my voice. It's my whole body.
Yeah.
And it comes out in your voice when you do that because it's really hard to,
I'm so happy to be here today.
and do nothing else with your body.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be like,
I'm so happy to be here today.
Yeah.
it makes a difference.
And obviously make sure that your mic techniques are on point and
yeah,
stuff
like,
like
don't
that.
be whacking your
Yeah.
mic, but
Do not hit the mic. Do not touch. If you are at a studio, you never, ever, ever touch the mic, adjust it. That is what the engineers are. And for the record, your engineer needs to be your best friend.
Yes.
Because they make you sound pretty. That is why it is so important. Be a good person.
Yes.
Say hello. Make friends.
When I say be nice to the secretary, for voice acting, that's be nice to the engineer.
Yes.
I have brought the engineer presence.
Yes.
Because they can make or break you.
Yes, they can. And sometimes it comes down to it, like,